DNA and Cellular Adaptations, Section 4. Last time we looked at DNA and how it compares between different species. And we saw that the DNA of one species, when compared to the DNA of a different species, may not just have a different base sequence, like we see in the DNA from two individuals of the same species, but might have a different amount of DNA due to a different number of chromosomes. We looked at three groups of unicellular organisms: bacteria, protists, and yeast. And we focused in on the protists to really get a sense of what those adaptations are. We're going to pick up today with a review of some of the things that you learned about these unicellular protists and the adaptations that their DNA allows them to have. So here we have a chart of the protozoa. That's the group of protists that we're looking at. They're animal-like zoa protists and their adaptations. Remember that these organisms live in watery environments. So all of their adaptations are geared to help them survive and thrive in a watery environment. One of the biggest functions that the adaptations help them to do is to move through the water. Cilia are small, hair-like projections from the cell membrane because all of these are unicellular, just one cell big. And these cilia help them move toward things that they need or away from things that might be harmful. When a cell moves toward or away from a chemical stimulus, that movement is called taxis. If it's moving toward, it's a positive taxis. If it's moving away, it's a negative taxis. Now, let's find a picture of that cilia. If you look at the images to the left, you'll see right here in the middle, cilia labeled. And if you go in present mode, you can see a bigger image of what that cilia looks like. Here it is, the small hair-like projections. All right, let's get back to the chart. The next adaptation is flagella. It is also an adaptation that allows the unicellular organism to move through the water. But instead of small hair-like projections that are all around the cell, it is a long whip-like tail that whips back and forth and allows for that movement. Remember, that's called taxis, to move toward things that it needs and away from things that might be harmful. So what does flagella look like? Well, here is an image showing the flagellum of a unicellular organism. Pseudopodia are another movement adaptation. Pseudopodia tend to be in organisms that live on the bottom of the watery environment, and they kind of ooze along. And the way they do that is they have special structures that were coded for by their DNA that allow them to push parts of their cytoplasm forward, forming kind of a false foot. And they can surround food with these false feet, or they can use them to move, to ooze along the bottom or some sort of surface in the water. So the pseudopodia help with movement, but they also help to engulf food. So what does pseudopodia look like? We can see them best here in this image of the amoeba and the false feet that it forms. The eye spot is another adaptation. This one doesn't help with movement directly, but it definitely helps the organism detect things that it might need to move toward or away from. In particular, it helps the organism detect light. Now, it is an eye spot, not an eye. It's not as complex as an eye, but it does allow it to detect light stimuli from a distance, similar to what our eyes do for us. The eye spot is heavily pigmented. It often appears red, and allows that single cell to detect light. If it moves toward the light, that is called positive photo, meaning light, taxis, movement. If it moves away from the light, that is negative phototaxis. So what does the eye spot look like? Well, here is an image. And then finally, we have the contractile vacuole. The contractile vacuole is very specific to organisms that live in water, and it basically helps them get rid of water that's filling the cell and might cause the cytoplasm to expand so much that the cell membrane couldn't contain it and the cell would rupture. The water is filtered into the vacuole, which then squeezes and expels or gets rid of the excess water outside of the cell. And that helps the cell to maintain its water balance. And here, this star-shaped item is the contractile vacuole. All right, I'm going to go into present mode. You can as well with your presentation to see these structures a little bit more closely. Here we go. The cilia are the hair-like projections. The flagellum or flagella is a whip-like tail. The pseudopodia or pseudopodium are these false feet, these extensions of cytoplasm. The eye spot is the heavily pigmented red spot. And the contractile vacuole shown here, just after it's squeezed together, is a star shape when it's just squeezed to expel water, but it would be circular, more circular, if it were full of water. And these are due to the fibers, this star shape, that it uses to contract the vacuole and squeeze the water out. Here we have a very short video that shows paramecium and how they move. Let's see if you can spot the adaptation. We have here the amoeba as it's moving. Notice that movement. Here we have a diagram of the amoeba, reminding you what all of these parts are called. This movement in the amoeba happens because of its pseudopodia, which are the extensions of the cytoplasm forming false feet. Here we have the paramecium I promised, and we see it moving. And you might notice that its cell membrane looks a little blurred. It's not really blurred. Those are the cilia moving back and forth. And this one's trapped in a little section so we could watch it, but they can zip in and out of the water. And here we have an organism using flagella. You might want to make your video a little bit bigger, but you might, if you look carefully, see the blurry lines that are whipping around. Those are flagella. These organisms are largely transparent, so these structures can be hard to see. But make it big and you'll see them whipping back and forth. So how did the paramecium move? It moved using cilia. What structure does euglena use? Well, here's the euglena. What structure does it use to move? It uses flagellum. Remember, these adaptations happened because of differences in DNA that make up genes that are found on chromosomes. And because of the differences in DNA, different proteins are made. And those proteins allow for these very special adaptations. An adaptation is any structure or behavior like the taxis that we talked about, or ability that helps an organism live and reproduce successfully in its environment. And for protists, that environment is a watery one. Here we have our 3 rock star protozoa from Kingdom Protista one more time. Let's see if you can match up their adaptations and the function. This long whip-like tail, what is it? Pause the video now and see if you can match everything up, and then restart the video to check your answers. The long whip-like tail is the flagella. What does flagella do? Well, it helps the protist to move. This red spot is heavily pigmented, so it can sense light. But what is it called? Well, just like our eyes help us detect light, it is the eye spot. The amoeba here in the middle, the arrows are pointing to these extensions of cytoplasm. Those are called pseudopodia. What do they do? They help the organism to move and also to catch its prey. Finally, down here, we have the paramecium, and it has lots of short little extensions. These are called cilia, and they help the protist to move. We have a kind of a star-shaped structure here. That is the contractile vacuole. When filled with water, it squeezes to get rid of the excess water, which helps to maintain water balance. How did you do? If you didn't do well, undo your labels and try again until you can successfully pair each adaptation and its function. I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you next time.